Hey guys, this is National Master Kevin Yang back at it with another video. So I told you that I played in this position, King takes e6. And this was just a mere hindsight. I had, 5 seconds? Didn't have time to think. b7, wonderful. Rook to d5, okay. King to e2, and rook to b5. And this was the moment Anthon2010 could have won on the spot. Knight d4 check. I saw it. Don't worry. I'm not tricking you. I saw this coming. Knight to d4. But I wanted to see if Anthon saw it. And Anthon didn't, so after b8 queen, I took, and I was like, okay, all I have to do in this position is I just have to push, go for a draw, because I'm out of time. I have like 3 seconds. There's no delay on my clock. So I just have to keep pushing. And here I played the mouse too fast and things got out of hand. So I had no time. So think about this. I had no time and I'm just playing pre-moves, right? So things didn't go well here and I lost. But let's look at this position. Right? Let's look at this game in general. So if you looked at the position, well, I was doing pretty good in the opening, right? This knight to e5 and this bishop to h3. So I was pretty proud of what I was doing. Keep putting the pressure, queen to h5, knight to e5. I liked my positioning of the pieces, right? So everything was working out for me. I could have thought about e6 at some time, right? But I don't know, right? King to e2, maybe e6 was the right job here. Activate this rook this way. But it's hard to say, right? Queen to h4. I was doing okay. Knight takes e3 followed by rook e8 and e6 would have been an interesting continuation that I thought about. But I didn't decide to go for it because I saw more potential in this pawn right here. So that is what I did. Kept putting the pressure. And, at this point, I was a little bit hesitant because I saw my queen side and I wasn't sure if I was comfortable enough. But I said in order to win, I have to take some risks. So I played b5, and I was supposed to play e6 sometime, but I never really found the right time. So I played a few moves just on the queen side before that. And at this point, this was my chance. Knight c3 and the move rook a8. This was my chance. But I was too concentrated on material, on getting the rook. Terrible decision by me, right? I was supposed to look for the attack, the counterplay. And after check, I was doing things, but I didn't convert in the end. I looked at this end game and I was up so many pawns, right? I'm up 2 pawns here. I'm up the exchange and I still didn't win. So what is the right continuation here? That is the hard part. If rook f2, I was looking at king to c1. Then what happens? Well, then I have the move g5, g4, g3, g2, g1. I could have won here. The other idea is, well, I could have just played g5 right away. b5, g4, okay. b6, I'm just going to take. b7, h2, doesn't matter if you queen. I will queen, king to d2, rook f2, and pretty much queen check, rook d2. This king is going to get mated, right? King g3, queen, and checkmate, just like that. But was it easy to see all of that starting here? No, it was not easy. I didn't even spot it with 5 seconds to go, right? So, yeah, I mean, could have also played rook f3, but I was like, what happens if king to c2, right? And here, I just had to follow my gut. g5, g4. Should have done that. I took too much time trying to figure out how to stop this guy. Turns out there really is not much of a way to stop this guy because these guys just make so good of a barrier in getting my rook away from there. And this king is playing a really important role of not allowing the rook to get on this file, right? So props to white for doing all that white can do. But after e6, b5 came, and even at this point, I could have saved it. Takes b6 and rook to e4, going back like this, right? Like, even though we're going to lose the rook, we have 5 pawns versus the knight and a pawn, right? So if you look at this position, rook e8, bam, bam, and I play king f6 and this, I'm not so bad off, right? So there were ways to save this position, there were ways to win this position, but I didn't win it, right? Because in this position I was thinking, well, check, king to c2, I have nothing. Maybe I'll just keep checking our friend, but I didn't exactly want to draw. You know, I wanted to actually prove that I was capable of winning this position. So it did feel a little bit embarrassing to lose in the very end, but sometimes you gotta accept those losses. Even at this moment, I had a draw, right? Rook to b5 was in sight, and all I had to do was avoid this knight d4 fork. I just had to play king f6. You play e7, I play king f7. You play b7, I play rook to b5, right? I stop both pawns. So that, my friends, that is how you defend this endgame. I didn't quite defend it, and I was a master, and I have 5 seconds left, but I do expect more of myself. So, I mean, this was a really good game, right? It all came down to the end. And the opening, it was complex, but I found my comfortable way with it. I was able to get the doubled pawns. I was able to maintain pressure on the white pieces. I was able to find a target. I just, well, wasn't able to convert. I mean, things definitely got tricky in the center, for sure, with knight to c3. And I think for a very considerable portion of the game, white and Anthon was just much better, right? Because I was concentrated on here that my rooks, well, they weren't doing much and they could have done much better. So I could have played e6 earlier on, but I didn't. So there are things I need to improve on. So, as always, I'm improving. Hope you're improving. Hope you enjoyed this video. And, well, I guess I'll see you next time.